Hello and welcome to what has turned out to be one of my favorite days of the year. And it's not my birthday this year, I'll tell you that for sure. It is the announcement of the Mystery Chef winner in our last What's Up Wednesday live for this season. Boy, are we ever excited today for lots of reasons, mostly because it's all about the celebration of all of you that work in child nutrition, that think about creativity and make it a part of your work day and work year, how you're thinking about cycle menus now, springing into summer. We bring this to you in hopes to inspire you and to thank you for all the hard work. And when I say thank you, I don't know if you can see behind me, but there's lots of awards back here because this year, as in the past 2 years, Mystery Chef Season 3 did not disappoint. So we're gonna launch right in and we're gonna talk about Mystery Chef. We're going to have some time to talk about your menu and what matters most in inspiring your spring into summer. And then, as always, we'll end with some caught doing something good moments and some resources and activities, perhaps, that you can carry into your spring into summer menus. I always say end with the beginning in mind. So even if you're not a summer school provider, hang in there. Some of these resources relative to the harvest of the month that is so bountiful in our state through the spring and into the fall will hopefully inspire you to really think creatively about what you're doing on your menu. So without further ado, I would like to talk about this Mystery Chef competition. If you haven't heard about this, this specific activity, again, is our 3rd year of doing it. And so as we go through these slides, I just want to talk to you a little bit about who participated this year. And so you can see on here, these school districts elected, maybe with a little arm twisting sometimes by us, because we think you guys are your own best kept secrets. We want to sing out what you do loud and proud. And this Mystery Chef competition is not only about menu inspiration, featuring items in schools that could help maybe be on your menu as you think towards your spring and summer menus and certainly into next year's cycle menus. But more importantly, we are our own best kept secrets. And so these school districts elected to be a part of a process that we hope they will elevate within their internal school communities. So a lot of our schools that competed worked with their administration, their student body, certainly their school communities in new ways in this process. And we hope that it empowers their communities to realize what great efforts they put into their school meals programs, as well as what we all do as a school nutrition, and that is level up, right? We're leveling up what we do, and we are our own best kept secret. There's not a lot of media out there for the work that we do in school. So we really appreciate, and we'll talk individually about those schools as they each have won in our hearts by just being a part of this, but certainly the effort is so hard to judge. And speaking of judges, so we really take this seriously. So this season 3, we were really excited to add some more judges onto our panel. So as you can see here, it is not just Team Pasonic, and it is not just what we used to call our Pasonic picks, although we love to highlight you caught doing something good moments all the time. So besides Mystery Chef, that never changes. If you have a fun recipe, Team Pasonic is your cheerleading squad. Send it to us. We'll put it in newsletters. We'll help you create and craft a standardized recipe within the USDA approved software. You know what we do for you. Our team is just a fraction of the eyes and the ears that went into this Mystery Chef competition. So I really want to take a minute to thank a couple of these folks very specifically. We always know our team from GFS. Many of you see their smiling faces because they support logistically everything you do. But we wouldn't be here standing here at Sandridge Studio without Keith, my brother, who's not here today. He's at a food show, but also all of the support staff here at Sandridge who welcome us into this dynamic space to be able to do this for and with you. New this year, we had Nicholas join us, and he was an interesting vibe of like all the cool stuff you see that's going on in the world of Sandridge and what they're doing with their food shows and their culinary recipe development. So again, Pasonic Partners likes to inspire you all to think outside of the K-12 box that sometimes we get stuck in and think about what is going on in the industry. And Sandridge is one of those leading partners and really crafting and accepting the challenge to provide information and work with us in tandem to create recipes that are K-12 friendly. So stay tuned, lots more on that. Also, we'll go back 1 second because I got to give props to my girl. So Allison Jordan, many of you know her. I was so pleased to have Allison on our panel this year, and it's because not only is she a lead at JTM, many of you know, I say it takes a village. That JTM supports a lot of what we do in culinary development, so much so they attend culinary trainings at your schools, they show up for us at our food shows, but they also are involved in a national campaign called Crave, which is a JTM sponsored recipe competition. And so, like I said, the rising tide lifts all boats. Every recipe competition is a good one if it gets us thinking creatively, and better yet, sharing out that information as a whole. So Allison was awesome to be a part of this and also really give some supportive feedback to our attendees during the judging process. So thank you personally, Allison. I really love the work you do with us and in school. So without further ado, the next slide is going to talk about the business here. So the judging, not only the people and the faces you just saw, but really a systematic metrics that really helped us look at a scoring for, now I talk like, I feel like I'm talking procurement. It was a scoring metrics that was standardized across the board, but it really was, to be able to look at what schools submitted as far as their written recipes, and is it something sustainable in schools that could be a crediting option that we could offer to other schools. We looked at the creativity that always comes out of photos and videos, including bloopers, our favorite. Never withhold those. We love a good blown out stromboli like our team winners had, but we love the idea that the process is real. And a lot of folks learn about recipes more by their eyes instead of reading the words. So photos and videos play a huge role in this. Of course, school applicability. We first started this 3 years ago and we had great ingredients, but we also found that a lot of the recipes were either out costed or out whatever. It was just not a really sustainable model. So every year we humbly get better in this process, I want to say. And this year we really focused on instructing our contestants to think of something that would work in schools because we want it to work for you. Obviously, it doesn't work unless it's swallowed. It's not nutrition unless that happens. So we highly value kid testing and any feedback that students give you all in any of your recipe development efforts. Mystery Chef, no exception there. Certainly, we know we have special dietary considerations to achieve in schools, and so we don't always want to have a separate or different experience for those kids that eat in different ways, and so that's important for us to help you think about dietary inclusion when you think about recipes. And then we did some bonuses this year because we know that many people get this box, and I think the next slide talks about the box. Get this box, and they don't know what to do with it because there's so many opportunities in it. And so within that, we gave bonus points for how they might market their particular recipe or recipe sets, and use it not only for the lunch meal or the breakfast meal, but also a la carte offerings, because we know many of you love a versatile product. Who doesn't, right? You get something in and you can use it across categories. And then also, if you are a school that uses a la carte dollars to help offset revenues, you know, we really know the business of school food service is just that, a business. It has to work in so many different ways in order to become a true menu option. So the finances are important. So with that being said, we love this picture, and I think this was submitted by one of our contestants that unpacked the box, probably in a state of overwhelm. So first of our question was, hey, when you opened the box, what did you think? And for those of you who were able to attend the SAND meeting this year, which is the local School Nutrition Association chapter, we did an unboxing there, which was actually another upgrade this year that I thought was super cool. Andrew Mendez from Kenston was able to open the box and kind of show other professionals what we're thinking about in terms of products that maybe we've had in and out of our kitchens, but we haven't thought about them in the way of creating recipes that are on our cycle menus. So this picture depicts those items. These slides again go out with you all in the post recap of this, along with the recording of this show. My goal really is check these out. If you see these recipes today and you're like, God, that did look good. What was that number again? We've got you. This is the slide that tells you how to order it from Gordon Food Service with the accurate code information. And of course, your Gordon Food Service partners would be happy to talk about where these come from, and even some of our great contributors like JTM, you saw Allison as a judge, contributed to this, and you know, never underestimate the power of a sample. Just ask for a sample, get it in your kitchen, play with it, do something with it, see if it's something that might move your needle in terms of recipe creation in your district this year. So these are all the products, and now I get to have my team come up. I'm so excited. That was a little bit about Mystery Chef. Again, season 3. We are so grateful today to not just say everybody gets a trophy and everybody wins, but my team here, it was a huge part of the judging, as well as just the proud parents of some of these accounts as their client leads. So we're going to go through some of the superlatives, and I'm going to let everybody kind of take a pick at giving you some of the wow behind each one of these wonderful schools and the capacity they had to engage their staff and their students and create wonderful things. So I don't know who starts, but it's going to go. There she goes. Drum roll, please. There we go.
So our first one is Avon Lake City Schools. There were a group of ladies at the middle school who chose, or at the intermediate school, and we had to twist little arms to get them to do it, but they loved it. And let me tell you, they got an award for the best trayscape. It was absolutely beautiful. It was definitely a photo op. And as you can see, it was a gorgeous picture of a plate of food that they did. And they did a wonderful job. Our next one would be the Collaborative Creators, and this was Fairview Park City Schools. This was a great team effort. I mean, you could see they worked together as a team so well, came up with wonderful ideas and had a beautiful plate as well. Next would be our Meaningful Mentor Award. If anybody knows Andrew, you just know he's just a wonderful man and he's got a good heart and he comes from a good place. And every year he joins and he does this and he always includes a student intern. So it's so great to see that he's giving back as we do, and he puts it out there for his students to come in and get involved. So, and our next one would be our Primo Presentation Production Award goes to Plain Local School District. This was amazing. I mean, they had the kids come in from the school and do production on it. So their video, they rocked it with that, so.
Yeah, we certainly hope Plain Local, if you're on, you use that because it's like, TikTok worthy presentation, and the students, again, we talk about Andrew and the mentorship, opening the box at the SAN meeting and involving other stakeholders, other professionals in our region, other directors kind of in on the process. Students, inspiring students to be a part of this. I think you can see by each one of these pictures, we are creating some really cool opportunities for you, and we'll be providing recipes as well. So if you're looking at these pictures going, how did they make it? I just kind of wanted to take a little mini commercial to say, you'll find out pretty soon. It's coming your way.
Yeah, so next one up is East Cleveland. This was their first year doing the mystery box and they did an amazing job. So East Cleveland Caledonia won the Fancy and Fresh recipe, title, and presentation. And you may be wondering what the title is. And you can kind of see that they made a chicken and waffle sandwich, but they called it Bling Bling Chicken and Waffle Sandwich. So they won that award. They did an amazing job as their first year in the box. Next up is another elementary building in East Cleveland, so Mayfair. Congrats, you got Best Use of Professional Development Day. So East Cleveland did a great PD day with JTM. They had one of their chefs come in and do a cooking series, talk about cooking tips, and then learn about new products on their line. So they did an amazing job, also great presentation here on their plate as well. Next one up, another first year doing their box. Another one where we had to kind of get them to do this for their first year, and they did an amazing job. They even mentioned that they would do this again next year. So I know a few of you are watching. So they won the dedication award because they really dedicate so much of their work into the elementary buildings, and you can kind of tell already how much work that they put into it and this plate and everything else. Mm-hmm. So very proud of them for that.
I think it debunks the myth too. A lot of people say, oh, I would do it in my high school and middle school, but we have a lot of elementary schools participating this year, so we have the capacity to not only reach, and I think sometimes once we get them young, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And I'm just going to go out and say thank you specifically to Copley because they're doing great work, setting the bar very high for elementary students to expect really good things in their lunch lines and the care that goes into it. And really to score as high as Copley did for their first year out as elementary, I just super kudos to you guys.
All right, and up next is one of my lead schools, Stowe Monroe Falls. Great job, ladies. They got the International Fusion Pizza Award. We love pizza at Stowe Monroe Falls. Every time I go to the food show, the Schwann's lady gives me a wave and reminds me that we order more boxes of Schwann's pizza than any other school in Ohio. So of course, we took the opportunity to utilize the ingredients in the box to make a really fun pizza that the kids would really enjoy. So kudos to my gals over there.
So what made it international? It was curry in the mac and cheese.
Yes, curry mac and cheese on that pizza.
Little twist.
Really fun, really fun. And then our intern also got to partake in this year, and she did an awesome job marketing. She did an Italian marketing theme. I'm not going to try to speak in Italian. I'm a country girl, that will sound a little funny. But she did a fabulous job marketing this. She had so much fun. And it really gave her ideas of even maybe things she said that she'd like to do in her career moving forward. So what a cool opportunity for her to be able to be a part of that as well.
Yes, think about our around the world passport. I think, that was the cool thing. So another thing about, Andrew using an intern, we have an intern right now. Think about, you might have a lot of marketing minutes in your mind or in your day's schedule, but really lever into some of those student opportunities. And if you don't take interns or have interns, students, like the students that are taking the videos, I'd be saying, help me figure out ways to do fun marketing, because I think this, every year as we do this mystery chef, it grows in our aha moments, the light bulb moments. And I think that's one of the things I love about this is we never stop collectively learning and improving our process. So I'm going to get to talk a little bit about my girls from Hudson City Schools. Again, this was a year many of us had administrative review. So little arm twisting had to happen because, you know, I know we're busy. And so one of the things that I really appreciate about Hudson is that they were willing to fit it in somehow, as they always do, to really elevate the experience for kids, despite being busy and being audited and all the fun stuff that a lot of us had this year. It is now the time, maybe hopefully April's we're done after April.
Yep.
Okay, so now we can take a deep breath after maybe spring break or Easter and get creative again and stop just worrying about compliance, although it's very important. We do love and appreciate Hudson. One of the things that I love about this team is they created it as a partnership, but they also monthly meet as a team to discuss their menus. And so what they did different this year, and what award we gave them, was the best team meeting engagement, because they made the food and brought it to the team meeting, which includes the business manager, their food service supervisor, myself as their dietitian consultant, and then all of the other cooks in the district to be able to taste and see. So they brought the ingredients from the box. So sharing is caring, and certainly was that day, because number one, I got fed, which was kind of fun. Normally I don't get to eat these things. I was like, this is awesome. But also the idea that if one school in your district is interested in this, never miss an opportunity to really do the ripple effect. And that's what this best team meeting engagement really did at Hudson this year. So great job, guys, as always. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this was so hard for me. I almost begged my team to allow us to have two winners, because Crestwood, wait till you see the scores, but Crestwood, best use of the box. I mean, thinking creatively is never something that Jen Hirsch and her team falls short of, but upping the level every time they do this amazes me. It blows my mind how creative, teamwork, student engagement, I mean, you name all the things, but also thinking, you know, several of the contestants this year said to me, I looked at the box and I wanted to challenge myself not to just do something typical that happens all the time in schools. I wanted to really change it. And then further from that, they had dialogue about, we really were thinking about like what people like. And so if you look at this little kind of banh mi presentation or small bites, or a Panera-esque style where you can order a soup and a salad and a sandwich or some combination thereof, they really did think through so many aspects of this, and really, again, always scored very, very high in this competition. And I think, you know, in my world, and I know Jen very well, you know, I just love that she does this for her kiddos. That's her little baby girl right there. That's as tall as her today. We've grown up with families in the industry. Our kids are always been our guinea pigs, but what I do love is that they care so much to really involve their staff in this every year. And so, Jen, awesome work. Actually, I'm excited about making the soup recipe, which, you know, I think other people should be very excited too, because it was easy and it was an awesome recipe. Any more? Okay, well, without further ado, our superlative and overall winner is Brecksville Broadview Heights. Come on up here. We have them in studio today. I am so excited for you.
Thank you.
I am so excited for you. I'm excited for the children in your district. I want to say, from a standpoint of, you know, we talk about this and this being something you guys would want to do. Professional development. I mean, you took it on your team to look at it not only at one school, but all the schools. Mind meld with the coach lead here, and the cooks in each of your buildings to kind of think about not only what we could do at the elementary, but how this might elevate into the middle school and high school. Come on, guys, you guys nailed it. That and the kids, okay? So many of us do these things at schools, and we try to get our school staff excited to cook again, you know, not just heat and serve, but cook and get your hands a little dirty. Mm-hmm. And then we put it out there and the kids didn't get a chance to have a voice or maybe try it. And their impression is not happy, you know, you're not happy, right? Because it's not nutrition if they eat it. And certainly you're not happy if they go past it and go, what is that? So, you know, I just love the fact that not only was it a full district experience, tell us a little bit about how you engage your students, because I think that's, for me, I think the judges really just loved that.
Yeah, so we did recipe testing, of course, in our kitchens, and for each building in our district, elementary, middle, and high school, we brought students back into the kitchen when we were testing the item and creating our concoctions. And we just brought them back into the kitchen and did some taste testing with them and just had open conversations and what do you think? How do you like it? What could be better? And made tweaks from there.
I love it. So I get so excited about this. I forget to even, I think everybody knows who I am and I say, hi, I'm Marie Masonic every time. Tell us who you are and what school you're in, and then also who's in this lovely picture with you, because they were super excited the day we got to go and
Yes.
the high five were going around.
I'm Amy Voigt. I'm the food service supervisor at Bruxville Broadview Heights. And this is Darlene Hill. She is one of our food service workers at our middle school building. Her, along with some of our elementary staff, kind of came together and were the brains behind this competition.
I love it. I love it so much. So we, through the magic of TV, are gonna
Yes.
cook with you and for you today, because that was part of our deal. The winners got to come and they so graciously, I know it's busy in schools and it's hard to get away, so we appreciate you. And we're gonna do with Tina, our mise en place queen, a mini demonstration of their recipe. So as they set up, I can't talk highly about how much this, the judges really took the time to review the entries, to be able to meet with you virtually if you chose to really score this, objectively, and look how close that margin was.
That's
I know.
incredible.
And it is so close. So the top 3 scores you see there listed, but just by a very, very small margin. We don't want to, rain on the sunshine of how well you did, but you had some tight competition. So congrats again
Thank you.
for really leaving it all out there on the field, and the points there show just how close that really was. Jen, I'm sorry again. I was just like so close. She did so great at Crestwood. And then again, I'm gonna just prop Copley because they did such a great job. So Steve and Linda, I don't know if you're on, but we love you. You did awesome. So now we're gonna cook. So let's cook a little bit, ladies. So talk us through when you got the box. What was your first thought?
So when we got the box, Darlene came over to our elementary school with our staff, and we kind of were just opening ingredient by ingredient and kind of just brainstorming as a group as to, what can we use, what can we make, what do we already have on the menu that we don't want to utilize within the box, and what do we already have in the kitchen that we can incorporate these ingredients in with what we already have on hand. So here we have our spinach and artichoke meatball stromboli. We took the meatballs from the box, we chopped those up. We are using the Dogo's pizza dough, and we added in the yogurt and spinach and artichoke dip. And this kind of thins it out a little bit, makes it a little bit more spreadable onto the pizza dough. So Darlene here is mixing that for us. We'll go ahead and spread it on the pizza dough. We'll put the meatballs on top, top it with the cheese and roll it up like a stromboli.
I love it. So talk to me a little bit about your recipe crediting, because I know you are a dietitian and use
Yes.
Healthy Pro, and
Yes.
you're always thinking about that as you're thinking about value. So
Mhm.
local
Yes.
is a value to Bruxville schools.
Mhm.
Flavor is obviously, when you're looking at that spinach artichoke dip.
Yep.
Talk to me a little bit about how you thought through your crediting.
So we, we use the pizza dough already. We know that, our pizza slice, is 2 meats and, 2 grains, and we cut it into eighths, and that worked out pretty perfectly.
Perfectly. So the combination of the JTM meatballs, which is a commodity beef, so you think about price, school friendly,
Mhm.
easy enough to make. The local dough, again, is set apart in this recipe as a bonus, because we love bonus and local. But there are dough opportunities if you're a non-Dogo's person, so don't turn it off if you think, oh, we don't have that dough. There's ways to think about it and create standardized recipes for it. But you're making it look,
Commodity cheese.
yeah, commodities, you're
Mhm.
making it look pretty easy here.
Mhm.
Darlene. What is your sense about putting this together?
It was very interesting. I love artichoke dip
Uh-huh.
and trying to think of how we can make a sauce without a red sauce. And using the yogurt and the artichoke dip just seemed to be the perfect match. So we just said, let's try it that way and see what they say. The kids are shocked when they hear that it's a spinach and artichoke dip. But they seem to love it.
Okay.
They thought it was really good.
And you can also make this vegetarian by omitting the meatballs as well.
We did do that.
Mhm.
We did try that at the middle school
Mhm.
and we just put the artichoke dip in, and some of the ladies actually liked that
Mhm.
as well, so.
I prefer with the meatball, it just adds a nice another flavor profile to it.
I love that. I love that idea. So you talked about two things that were also bonus point structure, is if you could make a stromboli and a vegetarian can get a stromboli and not have to take something different, I think that makes a difference, right, in a child's experience if they choose to eat in a certain way, and we can't accommodate it with a very like recipe. So this definitely meets the bill. Now, I'm gonna laugh because it didn't include in their first iteration of theirs, but many of you get a little nervous. Don't be nervous. Roll it up like you would at school. So I'm gonna talk over this because people think, oh God, dough and working with dough. Is every pizza gonna be perfect? Is every shape gonna be perfect? The idea is no, and it shouldn't be, right? It shouldn't be. Homemade is meant to be perfectly imperfect in its presentation, but there are ways to use this dough, practice using this dough, create multiple training opportunities with our teams. Megan from Dogo's comes out and does training on site. So this is one particular local value add we have, but really kind of thinking through what you do at your own personal professional development days, regardless of mystery chef or anything we were talking about now. Doing a make a pizza party day for PD is you've done that before. So talk a little bit about how you got Dogo's in your district to start.
So we got Dogo's in the district, honestly, with your help. When I came to Bucks for Bobby Heights, Maureen was a huge help in helping me transition in and getting me connected with Megan from Dogo's, and we have had it on our menu since. Our students, they do love this pizza.
So you're doing a lot of pinching. Do you want
Pinching
to tell us why?
It's in the seams, because the first time we made it, we had a blowout and everything came out of it. But it actually was tasting pretty good. A lot of the people like that part of it better than just cutting it in slices. So I'm pinching the ends and I pinch the seam and put the seam on the bottom, and hopefully it will all stay in.
Yeah. So that obviously we had a curve and it's a little pan here in our production studio, but a long sheet pan would you have used
Yes.
differently? So okay, there's that. The seam down, the pinching to avoid the blowout. But I call all creations beautiful mistakes when those blowouts happen. So they still are very edible. Also, tell me a little bit about staff, because I'm sure you have a great amount of staff that love the pizza at your district. Is this something you would see them being engaged in, like staff?
Absolutely, and we actually put it on our menu. I put it on our menu for April, May. We know that the students like it. We tested it already with them, so we're gonna put it on the menu as one of our options at all three of our buildings.
I love that. I love that. And so, we couldn't do without the magic of TV and my lovely assistant, Tina. So let's look at what this product looks like. And I'm so excited. So not only is it something you created as a district, you've tested it with the kids and now it's on your menu. It doesn't get much better than that. It doesn't get much better than that. And so the beauty part of how this bakes up is very, pizzeria-esque in my opinion. And again, something different, no red sauce, no pepperoni. So you're using commodity beef. So the cost is good. You control the ingredients with your commodity cheese. You add the Greek yogurt to help decrease the sodium and something that's really flavorful. We all love dips, but one of the culprits of dips is sodium and fat. So I love to think about how we can still get flavor and not break the bank and break the nutrition budget, if you will. So we're gonna cut a couple pieces just to kind of show how this comes out and how easy it is. And again, many of you have tools and use pizzas in your program, but have you done it rolled up like a stromboli? It looks very fun. And you could even put a marinara dip if you wanted to.
You could, and
You could.
you could even brush it with some garlic butter before you bake it, or even
Garlic
garnish it.
spray?
Yeah.
Use your garlic spray,
Mhm.
A little
doesn't
burn.
count your calories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some flavor.
Yes. So talk about getting dough in, using it on your pizza program and expanding it into maybe a stromboli line. You guys are gonna become like, people are gonna wanna do this, at home. So one of the things we love about Dogo's is not only that she's local and she supports all of our local efforts. She is a female-owned business and she also cares about, she has kids she's raising in school. So, she definitely takes this job very seriously. And so to have the winning recipe be you all using her product, I think is just an amazing inspiration to people that have used her product, but maybe not in such a cool and versatile way. So that is the winning Mystery Chef Season 3 recipe, but wait, there's more. We couldn't go away. So so we were blown away with all of you, and I keep saying that, but I really hope you feel it through the lens, and here in person. The creativity and the time put into some of these recipes, everybody is winning something this year, and not just a superlative, and I hope it is a new menu item, because we could see many of these on. So the second recipe you all created, I think this was the one that JTM said, watch out for this. This is like a food trend of the year kind of thing for schools. So I'm gonna let you talk through what your recipe was that, again, you didn't submit as the one to be judged, but this was like probably the team's second pick, the judge's second pick. So tell us a little bit about what you're making.
So we are making some mac and cheese bites.
Mac and cheese bites, because
We-
people are a little tired of mac and cheese bar, I heard, maybe
Well,
Lisa said
yeah,
that when we
A
were
little
there.
tired of the mac and cheese, not that they don't love it, but we wanted to do a different application with macaroni and cheese. So we utilized the noodles that were pre-cooked in the box, which is huge convenience item. We mixed in some yogurt. The breadcrumbs are made from the rolls that were sent in the box. You could utilize just a breadcrumb that was already made up and crumbled for you. And we have some cheddar cheese and some different spices that we're mixing in. Darlene here is doing a great job demoing for us.
That looks like paprika.
Garlic powder, onion powder.
Okay, so no sodium, so I
No
just wanna be
sodium.
clear, that looked like a lot, so I know somebody's gonna say,
Yep.
what was that?
Yep,
Paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, awesome ingredients to boost the flavor.
got some cheese here. And then we also mixed in some of the breadcrumbs within the mixture. And then Darlene is gonna mix it up for us. Use a scoop it into balls, and then roll it into the breadcrumbs. And then bake.
This is amazing. So as she's working this through, this came to me. So how many times, especially now, like we're all looking at, most of us are on break next week. So what do we do with bread that's like not fresh enough to serve in
Right.
schools? So we loved the Hawaiian roll because it had a nice sweeter
Right.
flavor
Mhm.
profile, but I love the idea of limiting food waste in schools. And you do that with Rust Belt Riders as well. So they have a composting program at Brecksville, Broadview Heights, which is another accolade to your efforts there. But I will say, if you have ingredients in your school, through the magic of Tina and TV, we have our balls here, as you're talking about, so this was baked off and then pulsed in a Robocoop, correct? How did you make it?
Yes,
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 okay.
yeah, we baked them off, that was another blooper, we put them in the oven for a little too long, and we baked them off, let them cool, we put them in a blender and make
Okay.
crumbs out of it.
So blender, you could use a blender, you could use a Robocoop if you have a food
Mhm,
processor on a pulse
mhm.
setting, you don't wanna like get too crazy with
Yep.
it. I wonder if you could even use an immersion blender a little bit, if it's dry enough, do you think? I don't know, we'd have to test that.
Okay.
Some of you guys do, I'm trying to think of all the things that the schools have. But definitely an upcycle, I love that idea of no food waste, so, even in my own house, you know, I'm going on vacation, I'm looking at this bread box, like, what am I gonna do, freeze it or bake it and make it to the breadcrumbs? And it really is a great way to, have some really quality whole grain, because again, what I love about this is it's a different format of a very kid-friendly forward recipe, right?
Mhm.
It's using commodities.
Mhm.
And for a school that has mac and cheese already, if you wanna change it up, you're not even having to buy something new, you're just
Right.
tweaking it a little bit.
Mhm. Mhm.
So what a cool way, and I think, Darlene, talk to me about how easy that is, I know.
It's very easy. I think the most difficult is getting it mixed in. It's a little drier, so you have to really work it and you have to squeeze the pasta. You can chop it if it's easier for you. But I think that's really the hardest part about it. You just mix everything together and you put it in a ball like you would a cookie and you roll it in the breadcrumbs and it's good to go. Now, you probably could still spray it with a garlic spray if you wanted to, but we didn't do that and it came out crispy.
And the cheese gets melty and the outside's crispy.
Mhm.
So for those of you, you know, we always say fast casual knockoffs that are kid friendly and focused and meet the requirements. Check, all of this
Mhm.
stuff. So you go to a restaurant and you look at a kid's menu, that's gonna be on it 9 times out of 10.
Yep.
And you go into a school and kids wanna eat what they're familiar with, and you have commodity mac and cheese, I mean, I think this is a no-brainer. And one of the things that, and I love this, because we kind of tried to talk you guys out of it when you guys were, and the judging, so you were talking, and Tina's like, was that hard?
Mhm.
Do you think your staff would really do that? And I was thinking to myself, judging can be challenging too, because we're trying to challenge people to say, is this possible? Do you think it's possible for schools to do?
I absolutely
Absolutely.
think so.
Okay,
I think it's a good idea for those people who are having a bad day, get in there.
Yeah.
Right, get in there and
Match it up, get it
you're
in there,
working
that
side by
person's
side
having a
with
rough
staff
day.
Too, and you're rolling together and you're coding them together, I mean, you're conversing and bonding as a team in that way too.
And they also said, if you make pizza or top pizzas, it was very, very similar in time.
Right.
So I love that your staff took a liking to creation, but also like, let's really see if we can make it in the time frame we usually make it. And I'm sure the kids love this one.
Yes, they
Yeah,
did.
they did love it.
So here's my only hint to this, like, I know the elementary babies would probably like it just as is, but I think middle school and high school kids would love that with like a banging sauce, like something little spicy, like a boom boom with some Frank's hot or something, like a spicy bite. So it really elevates, the stromboli and this recipe elevates a process that you can start at the elementary and then increase the value and keep it on as a kid friendly. I hope to see that on your menu too. I really do. I think it would be a winner, and for any of you that are watching this, I think we hope that you're as proud of Drexel Broadview Heights as our team is, because you guys will share your recipes and your thoughts. So I know that many of you, we say this all the time, will help. There'll be these recipes out to you as a cookbook, but give her a call. I mean, I think the idea is we really do inspire one another, and we aren't competitive restaurants, and we share our secret sauces and our secret recipes all the time. So we are so proud of you, and certainly so excited that you have this accolade to kick back to your kiddos at Drexel Broadview. So thank you for coming today. Awesome. Thank you. Good work, guys. All right, so now, we only have a little bit more time here, to share some of I'm not like my own kitchen, I'm dusting things out. Come on up here, Marge. We're gonna talk a little bit, this is our spring into summer show. So we took a lot of time, Mystery Chef. I hope I didn't take too much time, but I'm very proud of them. And very proud of our work as a team. And certainly one of the things that we hope to inspire you is that recipes don't just exist on papers, they're hopefully written to inspire. So I'm gonna hand it over to you to talk about what's next with our Mystery Chef.
Yes, so we have compiled all of these recipes from the Mystery Chef into a cookbook. And so look for that to be coming out so that you can see step-by-step instructions for all the recipes that were submitted.
Awesome.
And then thinking about, we did kind of do a Pasonic pick. Of course, you saw the spinach and artichoke stromboli and the mac and cheese bites. But again, we loved Crestwood soup salad sandwich concept, and we loved that they said a soup was easy and tasty, and it kind of gave off Italian wedding soup vibe. So they had an Italian meatball soup, and that was one of our picks. So when you get the cookbook, look for that recipe. And we also loved Copley did a great salad where they used the Brussels sprouts both in roasting them and some of the shaved Brussels sprouts, added some sunflower seeds. The dressing was very tangy. So that's also another recipe that's kind of one of our top picks.
So we will standardize these. So Healthy Pro Recipes will be in this segment for you to, the follow-up, so that you can turnkey use these. And we encourage you, if you have questions, I know, again, reach out to us, but certainly these schools are awesome. I love the idea of this salad, and we were just talking about that was a salad that went well. And many people don't use Brussels sprouts, but if you say the word Brussels sprouts, you might be. So what our suggestion was to change it to a spring sprout salad. Like I like a good, Pasonic Partners alliteration, me and my crazy obsession with that. But spring sprouts is a good way to do an alternative name if you fear that, as soon as you say the B word, the kids are not going to want to eat it. But we definitely know the taste was there, and many of these schools tried Brussels sprouts, said it didn't say exactly what it was, and that went over well in their student tasting. So just a little hint.
Especially when blended with some other lettuces, that was great. So we want you to think about, we're heading towards the end of the year, but we don't want to become stagnant. Certainly thinking of some celebrations on your menu, and maybe this is a time to try some things that you might want to put on your menu for next year. So even in the mystery chef box, we had some schools submit what a bling bling sandwich with the waffle. International Waffle Day is coming up on March 25th. So we have some ideas here. Again, these are all recipes we have in Healthy Pro that we can share, either for a breakfast or using the waffle as a sandwich. I love for my little Head Start kids this waffle with the yogurt on it and some fruit for a cold we only do cold breakfast. So thinking about doing something like that on International Waffle Day might be something that you want to try. Also coming up is National Tater Day. So who doesn't love a comfort food tater tot? We have had requests for a tater tot recipe, so we do have one. Or it could also just be the whole tater and use a local potato and do a potato bar. So think about celebrating National Tater Day on March 31st.
We call it, sorry for the interruption. I heard this today, don't call it casserole. Call it a bake. So I don't know why I'm getting inspired by renaming things, but you know, we know kids like it, and we know that there's often things that by name they get turned off. So we don't know that people in Ohio like casseroles anymore, but you know, if you're in a casserole state, keep going. If you are not, a take and bake or tot bake or something fun.
We can name it anything you want.
We'll name it anything you want. You know,
Yes. So coming up on April 4th is National Ramen Noodle Day. What better time if you haven't already tried the whole grain ramen noodles? I think I counted on our database, we have about 30 different recipes using these. So if you're looking for some inspiration, I've just pulled a couple up here. We can certainly share those with you.
and some cold ones too, right?
Cold ones
Yep.
also, cold salads.
Yep, so if you've tried the warm bowl and you've got some noodles in inventory and you think it's gonna get warm, which we pray it does, and stay warm, don't fear, we have great cold applications for this noodle too, which might take off, who knows, more than the others.
Yeah, it's tasty. Coming up is Earth Day. A good way to celebrate might be something as simple as sun chips or Dogos, and we love our Dogos, has their Earth Day themed cookie, or who doesn't love good dirt? I just wrote a recipe for someone with some pudding and the Oreo cookie and a gummy worm on top as an occasional treat before the sugar limits come in. We can put those things on our menus. Also coming up, who would have known, a National Pigs in a Blanket Day, and using that Dogos dough, if you bring that in, cutting that, wrapping it around the hot dog to celebrate. I think this would be fun at an elementary school, National Pigs in a Blanket Day for something different. Thinking about our harvest of the month, I love that we're getting into some spring items. So April being spinach. We have a recipe where we've done Dogos crust with spinach topping and some crushed red pepper to feature the spinach. I love the bakes for really any vegetables. Again, thinking more protein forward breakfast. You might want to try starting some of these recipes in preparation for trying to decrease sugar in the morning and up the protein. So we have a spinach bake. Obviously a spinach salad is always a good simple go-to also.
Smoothies, I just thought of that, you know, if you think about spinach and little kids and you say, ooh, that egg looked a little too green. If you blend spinach and incorporate it into green or into scrambled eggs or in a bake like that, that's like a green eggs and ham theme that I think is a natural. I think a lot of us are thinking about no dyes and getting dyes out. Think about vegetables and harvest vegetables that can be colorful on your menu. I know we have a beet hummus recipe that's a really vibrant, beautiful color, but spinach adds that Hulk to the smoothie. You know, so if you want to do a themed superhero, and we talk about Superhero Day coming up here on May the 2nd for all of you, maybe even just a Hulk smoothie, because you guys are all, you know, superheroes in our minds. So.
Yes, don't forget to celebrate yourselves and your colleagues on May 2nd. We know we will be. For all the hard work that you do for School Lunch Hero Day. Also, coming up in May, thinking ahead, again, a bake is great. So take out the spinach and then in May you can put in some asparagus. We also, with our littlest eaters at Head Start, do a great roasted asparagus with some Parmesan cheese on it. We've even done Brussels sprouts that way, and the little kids will eat them. So think about how you can utilize some asparagus in May. And then we want you to think about the summer, if you're doing any kind of summer feeding, all the great resources that Feed Our Future have with some recipes available for some of that summer produce, along with, you know, resources, activities that kids can do, especially if it's like a day setting, camp setting, where they might, you know, I know as a mom in the summer looking for activities to do with my kids, those resources are readily available right there for you to use.
Absolutely. We love the opportunity, if you're not a school provider and you know of the summer announcement you send out, these resources are available for parents to click on. So you see there's berry recipes for home in this one, and there's fact sheets, there's early childhood care and resources. So if you're in a community and you aren't the person that provides the summer meal, but you know who does, please share the link and share the wealth. I think that's one of the big things about continuing forward that. And I will say summer tends, obviously in our own gardens and homes, to be such a wonderful time for fresh produce, right? And so, you know, I almost feel like we missed the beat a little bit in Ohio schools and Midwest schools regionally because of the cold, but there is harvest in the month all year round. And we want you to be able to really celebrate that and to be able to encourage your families, even if they're not with you eating in the National Meals Program throughout the summer, to be able to continue to look at those resources. I know that we talk about the what we do in schools, and we do the education, the out of the box training, and a lot of it is not only about what we do to prepare the meals in schools, but to be able to give you all the opportunity to give those ready resources. So if you are doing digital menus, a good suggestion would be on the side to feature some of the summer harvest of the month items, and then be able to put that Feed Our Future link right in there to take parents to the berry recipes and the cucumber recipes at home, as well as other opportunities for schools as we get back into August. Don't forget to order your peaches. So many great peach recipes, a really great time of the year in our region to be able to taste a peach like it's never been tasted before. So if you have kids that are like only ever experienced a canned peach, this will blow their mind. And they are safe with the seeds. There's ways to get around that. So we have tons of recipes as you think about planning your cycle now to end with the beginning in mind. So don't forget summer resources for your families as we leave for the summer season, or if you are in service, really think about that, because I think it's awesome.
Yes. So aside from the cookbook that you will be getting, of course, any of these recipes that we share, if you're one of our partner schools with Healthy Pro, it's very easy for us to just shoot that recipe over to you to take a look at and say, well, maybe I want it tweaked a different way, and we can certainly adapt that for you. But we're also willing to share it with anybody. Just send an email to our support ticket system, that's support@ppllc.info, and ask for what recipes you might like, and we're happy to send you a PDF copy of those.
I always call Marge behind the behind the curtain. I think we should put your little face in that little circle there. And there's Marge, ready to take your input. But we really do encourage you to reach out. It is simple to provide a standardized recipe, and our goal really is to see it work for you. So we're excited. Thank you for all the inspiration. Yes. I'm going to bring back on my friend here. Tina's always caught doing something good. I'm kind of hungry, and I'm glad you did this now we put it out here. We're going to talk a little bit, I know this seems like it's Dogo focused today, but when you get something that is that good and versatile, I don't know if you can see this, talk to us a little bit about what you created here and how we might see something as a new opportunity with Dogos in schools.
Dogos, we've reached out to them, and they have made a cinnamon dough now. We've been doing the pizza dough for years, and now we're thinking with the way sugar numbers are coming, we're gonna start having to think about ways we're doing breakfast next year differently. And working with Megan, she's already on the ball, ready to go, and she's got a cinnamon dough ball coming in, so we'll be able to make homemade cinnamon rolls. How perfect is that gonna be to make our own, smelling through the kitchen, going through the buildings and smelling that. So we were thinking summer wise too, coming up, we were talking about the berries, all the different fruits that are coming up. What a better way to have a breakfast pizza than to be able to give this to the students. It's got the yogurt on there as the base, so it counts as the protein. We have our grain, we have the fruit, one little piece of this, and we could cut this, one of the doughs into 10 and it'll give us the grains that it'll give us 2 grains and one protein, one meat alternative on it for one piece of fruit pizza. So I think it's gonna be great. I can't wait. I'm very anxious to start playing with their dough and see what we can do with it.
Yeah,
So,
not to mention, it's hard to make anything more beautiful than a rainbow or some sort of fruit montage. We had people that have it in the round and do different fruits on different slices in case you have pickier eaters. Whatever the case may be, I remember going to picnics in our own family, and that's like, folks make this at home. So think about that too. If we can inspire you to think about a fun, healthy option for your own spring and summer picnics, a fruit pizza
and
is.
nothing's more fresh than eating that, fruit and having that nice cool thing on a warm morning.
Yeah.
And summer's coming, ladies and gentlemen. Be prepared. We're gonna be getting our summer feed going on, so
Yes.
what a way to help the kids.
Caught doing something good. So we've got some more things to talk about here. As we go through these slides, it is our pleasure to talk about some of the wonderful things we've seen you all do at the breakfast, National Breakfast. So if we can go to the next slide, here we are. Talk a little bit about this.
And this was the perfect timing, National School Breakfast Week that we just had. We had several schools that really got on board and really got into it today. This year, the theme was Clue In. Who wants to solve a wonderful mystery? And that's what some of these schools were doing. Going in there, thinking of different ideas. We had, they did a breakfast ice cream at Stowe Monroe, and the kids went crazy. They absolutely loved it. I mean, it's ice cream for breakfast, come on. So we also used our banana bread that we put on the menu every one of us have it on our menu every week for breakfast. And they did it, it was called a Booyah Bear banana bread. So they had the little nut, they used a nut butter or chocolate, and then the bananas made a little bear face on there. And then Jess at Woodridge did a pie. It was a pie version. I mean, and it really worked out great. She did it twice in the week. One was an apple pie, one was a strawberry. She did a Scooby-Doo one with the strawberry and the Scooby snacks on there. So you have your grain and your protein again. So it was perfect thing for National School Breakfast
Similar
Week.
to a yogurt favorite, just
Yep.
a different container.
Just different way of putting it out
And
there.
it was more popular probably.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the kids loved
Yeah.
it.
They thought they were getting pie and ice cream for breakfast. So would love that. And it meets and it credits. And one of the things about the breakfast week that I really want to applaud everybody who thought about it is we shouldn't be telling the story about what we can't do next year because of sugar restrictions. We should all be thinking about what we can do. And these high protein breakfasts not only are really easy to make, they have been proven to be kid friendly, and tons of science about how starting a day with protein for your kiddos and for yourselves really is such a healthy way to really reframe the conversation. Not, I can't have sugar anymore, but what can I do to better fuel my body, think better, continue to be excited and educated, not hit that post-breakfast. One of the other things I want to continue to reinforce about Caught doing something good, and we talked about Plain Local as not only a mystery chef participant who involved students who did this wonderful video production, has always been a leader in how to get your message out. So if you haven't checked out Plain Local social media, join it, because I will tell you, Jen and her team at Plain have done, they set the bar and set it high and early for what we're doing in schools. And I think one of the fun things is just these smiling faces doing things like eating a fresh salad. Certainly the kids video that for the mystery chef, I really do encourage you to be able to tell your story through the opportunity of your district social media. So some of you will say, I don't like social media, I don't do it. Someone in your district does, and they're telling the story of the sports teams and the theater productions and certainly the grades and the students. So find somebody in your district who is, a
Little tech savvy.
a little tech savvy, if you will, and put it out on socials. Because I do think that's a way a lot of families and students are looking at programs. And so this other one is one of our Catholic schools, our private schools, and they were able to do their smoothie taste testing and get it out there talking about something new for breakfast. So
And they don't even serve breakfast. That's the amazing thing. So they were interested and ready to go. They're doing it for their brunch for lunch and bringing it in there on a weekly basis now. Instead of doing a yogurt parfait, they're trying to figure out different ways to bring out the fresh proteins with the yogurt and bringing in the fresh fruit and putting it on their produce bar. As you can see, they have a beautiful produce bar that's out every single day.
Yep, and that down there, that will be a tip. That's American Dairy Recipes, and there's new grant out, so stay tuned for some resources here coming up. The next slide here is going to say never too young to start, right? These are our early childhood Head Start program at Lorraine County, doing that green eggs and ham meal, colored with spinach that I kind of gave a little teaser to. So again, no artificial ingredients here. Blending up that spinach into the green eggs and ham really created not only a platescape that the kids were intrigued and interested to be a part of, but it coincided with a great opportunity for literacy in their little education space there. So kudos always to our folks that lead the way early on, because we know it sets a foundation for our success in the K-12 space. So let's see what else we have in terms of resources. I'll let you go so you can cut that up so everybody can enjoy. If you haven't heard, tomorrow is the first of our 3-part series. The NutriSmart Culinary Training is back. For those of you who were with us prior to COVID, this was our way to get with you as a team to come out to a professional space and really do a professional cooking class. And what I know about it is it inspired me probably just as much as it inspired those that attended it. We are so proud of this series because we really do think by inspiring your staff and really getting their hands onto professional development that really values them as the professionals they are in a space that is a superb culinary training location. For those of you who don't know, it is at Corporate College, which is the same place our Innovation Academy is. That Innovation Academy this year, again, save the date, August the 6th. But this 3-part series is really a precursor to that. And it will be hopeful to, my reasons to attend are many, but I'll give you a quick highlight reel. If you're planning for retirement and succession and need cook training, here you go. If you're looking at commodities and you want to spend less money on ready to serve and use some of your commodities, decrease your food bill, I mean, that should be a reason, yes. If you're interested really in providing substitute and general food service work support so that they can aspire to move up the ranks, there you go. Lots of reasons to attend. Again, very fun culinary experience. Their QR code there is up for all 3. You don't have to attend all 3. Tomorrow we start and we're focusing with Dogo. So we're super excited, Megan, to have her back from vacation. She'll be all nice and tan. And she's going to be with us in that space, creating some really fun, versatile ways to use her dough, but also doing some other back to the basic trainings like knife skills and mise en place. There's still limited space if you want to squeeze in for tomorrow, and certainly take a look at your calendars and dog your April 10th and the May 1st for more fun in that kitchen space. Here are a couple slides from the Farm to School network. We love Rebecca Nab and all she does for ODEW. These were her slides that were presented last week. I wanted to share and call out several things here. Obviously, grants are always a good opportunity to keep your eyes out for items of interest, but also learning a little bit on April 4th if you're interested in doing something as adventurous as our Stacey Bettis does in her districts, and that is using local beef in schools. And the next slide, more importantly, is your links to sign up for Cucumber Crunch, the Farm to Summer Challenge, and then my favorite, down here, the Harvest of the Month Open Space. So this platform for free Harvest of the Month educational resources. What we're really trying to do as a state is really combine multiple opportunities for you to have a one space to really immerse in Harvest of the Month education to coincide with your recipes. So if you haven't seen these, please use the QR codes, stay focused on those items of interest. ODEW through the hard work of Rebecca Nab is always impressive in helping us. If you saw those smoothies and were like, man, I would love to do that, $2,000 grant equipments are available from fuelup.org website. So you look at these nice little ways to start your own smoothie program, and the kits to start them up with all this great merchandising is what this package pays for. That application is open now through April 8th. Don't miss your chance. We will help you. Tons of recipes they have to provide, as do we, and schools around us really enjoy that program as a part of their spring offerings. We thank you. Just about time. I know I don't know through the magic of something, it always ends up about on time, but I'm going to invite all my team up real quick. This is our last What's Up Wednesday of the year. We appreciate the opportunity to serve you in this capacity. We hope you find it informational and entertaining. We hope it inspires your opportunities to elevate your menu program. Get in here, David. We all love and support the work you do in schools, and we appreciate the opportunity to work in tandem and collaborate with you in any way we can. So from our team, Pasonic, to you, happy spring into summer, and we thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.